Let's make sausage. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Dishes and Fishes, where I show you how to cook and set hooks. In today's episode, we're gonna be making homemade sausage, and we're gonna be making 3 different varieties. We're gonna do breakfast sausage, we're gonna do an Asian-inspired sausage for dumplings, and we're gonna do just a normal smoked barbecue sausage. So we're gonna start by grinding up this pork butt. I'm using pork butt for this recipe. That's commonly what's used because it has the correct amount of lean meat to fat ratio, which is about 70-30. So I got a 10-pound pork butt here, and I'm shooting for 3 different batches of 3 pounds of meat. You can do this with other proteins and other cuts of pork if you want to, and you can just supplement pork back fat into the equation to get your 70-30 lean meat to protein ratio. It's kind of fun, but I'm using pork butt because it already is pretty close to that. So I'm gonna go through and cut up all my chunks into cubes that are small enough to go into my meat grinder. All sausage is supposed to have a salt content of 1.5 to 2% salt by weight of meat. I like to go on the least salty side, so I'm gonna use 1.5%. So multiply your weight of meat times 0.015 to get the weight of salt. So for me, I'm using about 60 grams of salt, and that's going to do all 3 of my different flavors of sausage. Now that my 3 flavors are salted, let's start with the breakfast sausage. So we're going to add a pretty basic spice rub. I'll put the components in the description below for all these spice rubs, but basically we're just going to rub it down and let it marinate in our fridge overnight for each of these recipes. For the dumpling sausage, we're going to add a blend of fresh garlic and ginger, some soy sauce and sesame oil, and 1 bunch of scallions. And again, I'll put the full list of ingredients in the description below, and then we're going to mix that and let that marinate overnight. And for the barbecue sausage, which is honestly my favorite, we're going to add a simple spice rub and a little bit of Dijon mustard, amounts in the description below. It is amazing how easy it is to get authentic tasting barbecue sausage, and this is how you do it. Now that all of our flavors have been marinating, they are nice and aromatic and smelling awesome, it's time to grind them up. When you're grinding this meat, you want to make sure that it stays cold so the fat doesn't melt on you too early. I'm actually throwing in an ice cube here periodically just to keep my mixture cold. For the size, you want to keep this a medium to large grind. I think the size of my grinder is 3/16, but basically it's the medium sized one. You can't really screw this up unless you grind it super fine, so don't do that. Once all your meat is grinded, we need to emulsify the mixture. So what you're going to do is pretty vigorously mix it by hand until it turns into like a mousse type texture like this. So see how it kind of sticks together now? That's what you want. There's still some chunks in there, but it sticks together mostly. Now we're going to case the barbecue sausage. I'm using some natural hog casings that I got at Watertown Meat Center in Watertown, Connecticut. Shouts out, place is legit. I soaked them in water for half an hour prior to this, then I rinsed them off. Now I'm ready to case. So feed your sausage casing onto your sausage stuffer as best you can. Make sure you feed extra on there. It's better to have too much than not enough. You also want to use a sausage stuffer that has a meat hopper on it. You don't want to use one like I have. It's a nightmare feeding the meat in over and over again. You want to be able to put the meat in and then do it all at once. This is just what I have, and it works. This is something that you're just going to have to practice. As the meat comes out, you want to pinch the end, but you don't want to pinch it too firmly, and you don't want to pinch it too softly. It's hard for me to explain. You have to do this on your own. But basically, just case up as much barbecue sausage as you can, and make sure both ends are tied nicely. So once the ends are nicely tied, it's time to twist our sausages up. So you're going to pinch your sausage link at the desired length that you want, ideally like a sandwich bun size length. And then you're going to twist it, then you're going to move down, pinch the link again, and twist it in the same direction. Move down, pinch it again, twist it in the same direction, and repeat. Make sure you keep twisting it in the same direction. Once your links are all twisted up, you're going to set them in your fridge uncovered overnight. This is going to form a nice pellicle like I talk about in my cold smoked salmon video. We're not cold smoking these sausages though, but it will help the flavor. So after the sausage has been in the fridge uncovered for a night, we're going to take it out and we're going to carefully poke any air bubbles that are in the casing. You don't want to like gouge the sausage, but you don't want any air bubbles. Then we're going to hot smoke the sausage on our charcoal grill using the same strategies that I talk about in my rib smoking video. This is why we don't need pink salt, because we're not cold smoking it, we're hot smoking it until the internal temperature reaches 160 degrees. For our breakfast sausage, we're just going to use a ring mold and some parchment paper to form nice patties, which I will then freeze individually. Put them in the freezer for an hour just so they firm up, then wrap them individually. All right, so I know this video isn't on making dumplings, but just so you guys are equipped, let's go over it really fast. I'm just using wonton wrappers that I got from the store, and I'm using a ring mold to make them circular because they will look nicer at the end. Go ahead and cut out enough circles for your batch of Asian sausage. You can make these homemade if you're hardcore. Then I'm going to put some water on 1/2 of the wonton wrapper. Put a little bit of sausage in there. I'm notorious for overstuffing my dumplings. YOLO. Then we're going to fold and crimp the sides as best you can. If you can't do it, just fold them over. They'll all taste the same. Put some canola oil in a saute pan and sear off one side of those dumplings super hard so they get nice and crispy. Once you're satisfied with the crisp, pour in a little bit of water and put a lid on it, steam them, and you have pot stickers. And they're bomb, trust me. So that's it, guys. Those are my 3 favorite types of sausage. They're not that hard to make, and when you make them, you want to make a lot so you can stack your freezer. It's awesome to have these in your freezer all year long. So give it a try. Let me know how it goes. Thanks for watching.